Hi. So I'm making this video. I've got the dog in the back. It's 4th of July, so he is responding to sounds outside. So I apologize for the woofing accompaniment. I am going to walk you through a sample MLA exam. Um, most of you took the MLA test last week, and many of you did not do that well. And so I wanted to give you an opportunity, everyone, an opportunity to earn some bonus points, specifically MLA bonus points. And so starting tomorrow, there will be a 30-point MLA bonus test. But I wanted to walk you through how to take the test because you will not be using the book. You'll be using the Master Guide to MLA that I wrote because this is a test that I had written for a previous class and we used our old textbook. The MLA section wasn't great. There were some errors. There were some things that were very difficult, the way they explained them. So I had written many years ago my own guide to MLA for my students, and I continue to use that, and I built the test from that guide. And so you could use our textbook, but the way the test questions are phrased are geared toward the master guide, and so it would be much more difficult for you to find some information in our textbook. And some of the information is more about documentation in terms of the formatting of stuff, and our book doesn't talk as much about that as I do in the master guide. So you can see here, this is not our test, but the instructions are exactly the same. So you're going to see a place with the link for the master guide that you can click and open that up. So here it is in it's a PDF. Note that you can search the PDF, and so when you're looking for something, uh, you know, trying to find an answer. Let me scoot this down. It's going to be a little fractious with me. Okay, let's say you're trying to find how to do author names. You can search it. You can look at the table of contents first of all, but you can also try to search it and see, try to find that keyword, and it'll take you to the places where that word is mentioned. It'll help you find the information a little bit faster. Now, you have a week to take the bonus test. There's not a time limit on taking it. There are only 10 questions, so you don't have to rush through it. But again, I think it's helpful to use the search function there to find things, right? But again, if you click here, it's going to take you right to that place. Okay. So let's look at the instructions on taking this. So first of all, you will be taking this bonus test in Brightspace, not in Achieve. And realize that the HTML editor in Brightspace does not do well when it comes to formatting, like hanging indent and spacing. So that will never be part of why an answer is right or wrong when it comes to an MLA works cited entry or anything like that. Okay, so that's just reminding you right there. Here are some tips for taking the exam. Some of the questions will ask you to identify which of the multiple choice answers is the correct works cited entry for the specific type of source. Like this one is asking which is the correct works cited entry for a print book. So what I say is look at process of elimination for the multiple choice questions. And by that, look at, first of all, where do they start? Where do they differ? Right? So if you can see, looking at this first piece of information in the works cited entries, all of them are alike except for B, which means B is either the correct answer or you can eliminate it. So we need to look at how do you format authors of two names, right? If you've got two authors for a works cited entry, how would you format those author names? So I can go here to author names. I can see two authors. I can click there, and it says here that for two authors, I'm going to list the first author, last name, comma, first, and the second author, first name, last name. So knowing that, seeing that in the guide, and again, don't try to guess your way through this, look at the guide, we can see that we can eliminate B, that it can't be the right answer. All of the other three are identical, so now we can move on and look at what is the next piece of information in the three entries left that is different. So we can see here that this date, 1995, is different. We don't have that same date in A and D. So now I want to look at a basic entry for a print book. So I'm going to go back to my master guide, and I can go back and say book in print, But if I don't have the exact right phrasing, might not be able to find it. So what I can do is I can come up here and I'm going to look for templates. And you can see a book in print template. So I'm going to click that and I'm going to see here that my basic element, I'm going to have my author, the title of the book, the contributor, the edition, the publisher, and then the year. The year goes at the end. And then here is an example. So I know now I can eliminate C because the year is in the wrong place. So A and D are identical except here A has this page range. So if I go back and I look at this, I can see there is no page range listed for this book, right? So again, if I go back and I look up in the page ranges, it'll show that for books, I don't use page ranges, right? Page numbering, right? There's a whole section on books, right? Whole book in print by single author or set of authors do not list a page range for your works cited page, right? So I know then that D is the correct answer. So that's the process of elimination, and I've worked my way through that. So another kind of works cited or multiple choice question you're going to get is I'm going to give you a works cited entry, and then I will ask you to choose which is the correct parenthetical notation for that works cited entry. Okay, so you're going to, again, go to the master guide. The parenthetical notation section is going to be towards the bottom, right? It's going to be after the works cited. So this is signal in and signal out. So you can see parenthetical notation templates, but I can see the definitions. I can see how to do author names. I can see how to do location, right? And then I have the different templates that you can look at really quickly, right? So again, process of elimination. So I have a single author. This is a work in an anthology, but for parenthetical notations, if you look at the information, you're going to see that it doesn't matter the type of source for parenthetical notations. What matters is the number of authors, right, and the location information, right? So authors and how it's paginated and if it's digital or in print is what's important. So it doesn't matter here that I have a work from an anthology. What matters is that this is a print work by one author, right? And if I look at my template, right, for one author in print, right, one author, right, in print, author's last name and page number. That's it. So then I know then that C is the correct answer. And then I have given you some little tips, some like kind of Q&As. Do I use a page number? Yes for print, no for HTML sources, right? So you can look through these questions for some more tips, right? So let's actually start this and kind of work kind of quickly through this just so you can kind of see the kind of questions and also how I would use that, right? The MLA guide. So I'm not going to say that all this information is going to be covered in your guide. I just kind of randomly choose questions from the test bank to give you the bonus questions. So you might not have a question about plagiarism. You probably will. I try to always put at least one of those questions, but it won't be this question, right? So what is not true about plagiarism? Well, if I'm going to go to plagiarism, all I have to do is do this, right? And I can see there's 20 times that I have used plagiarism in the master guide. So there's an entire section of plagiarism, and you're going to see there are types, right? So you can like go through this and see which of these 4 choices don't match, right? Because this is which of these is not true. And when you do that, you're going to see that this first one is not true, right? Plagiarism only applies when the writer steals more than 50 words. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many words you steal. It's plagiarism if you steal words, right? And so I'm going to click the right answer, then I'm going to hit next page. So here we have, again, an example. I've given you information. I'm going to say which of these 4 choices formats that information in the correct way. So what I have here is I have a book in print by a single author, right? So I can go to my master guide, right? And we already saw that. We already saw that template, right? Well, I flipped my mouse. Okay. So I know it needs to be the author, the title of the book in italics, the contributor, if there is a contributor, the edition, if there is an edition, the publisher, and the year, right? Now, again, there's a lot more information. These are just the templates, right? If you have not been reading along closely in the previous units that have been introducing all of this stuff about how to do works cited entry, then some of that stuff might not make sense to you. And so that's where then you need to go back up here, right? And you're going to see the 9 elements. So here under element 1, I explain all about author names. Here I explain what are sources, right? And so that includes how do you format sources. So sources are things that we put in quotation marks, right? Those are like the titles of articles in magazines and newspapers, a song off of a CD, right? A container is something that has sources inside of it. So a novel, a website, a magazine like Cosmopolitan or Sports Illustrated, right? These are containers and those are going to be italicized, right? There's also something called title case, and this is how we actually capitalize all of that, right? And it mentions that MLA title case. So title case is going to be mentioned at the very beginning of this document under formatting, right? So again, you're going to find all that information. You should have already read most of this in the previous chapter. So realize that, what does that mean? Well, you can look up to one of these elements to explain what are contributors, what are publishers, right? So if I look there, I know that first of all, my author has to be first, and I always do last name first. So I can eliminate this one because we don't put the first initials, right? Then I know Harry Potter is a book, right? So I can eliminate this one because book titles are in italics, not in quotation marks. That leaves me with these last two. And the only difference between these two is here it says New York and here it doesn't. So if I go back and I look at my book template, you can see that there is no place of publication. It just goes to the publisher, right? MLA no longer uses place of publication. So I know that that's not the right answer. This is the right answer. So again, that process of elimination. So here, what is the correct answer for worksite entry, a newspaper article in print? So I'm going to go up here. I can put newspaper, right? And here it is in print, right? And so I've got my basic template and I've got an example to show me how to do that, right? And so if I do that, first of all, author names are always going to be formatted correctly, the same, right? So all of these author names are the same, so I can't make that choice. The next thing I'm going to look at is the title of the article, and it's going to be in quotation marks. So I can eliminate A and I can eliminate C because those are not, this one isn't in quotation marks, and that's the title of the newspaper, not the article. Now I can look here and I've got New York Times, right? That's correctly, but here I have the city, right? And here I have the date. Well, when it comes to cities of newspapers, I only put them in brackets if the name of the city isn't included in the title of the newspaper. So I know that this one is the correct one. And so then this is going to be another one where I'm just basically going through that same thing. I'm just eliminating the possibilities, right? Now, again, this is a much longer test, right? So here is one that has the parenthetical notation, right? So here I have a book with 2 authors. So remember, I'm looking at how do I do authors? I'm going to use their last names, and then I'm going to do the page number. So if I go here to my parenthetical notation, right? In-text documentation, parenthetical notation. And if I look at how to do 2 authors, so here's 2 authors in print. You can see first author, the word and, second author, and then the page number. right? And so then that means that this is the correct answer. And so here's another one. Here's one author. So it's going to be the last name plus the page number. That's the correct answer. So here, this is a parenthetical notation for a web article. So those other parenthetical notations were for print sources. So now I'm going to look for a web article, right? And remember, I'm looking for a single author online. So I'm going to go back up here to one author, and I'm going to look digital. And I notice, look, it's just the author's name. There's no page number or anything. So I know then that more is the correct one, right? Same thing here, except I don't have an author. So if I go back here to my works cited, my parenthetical, look, it says anonymous author for a source, right? So here, this is a source, not a container, right? So because it's an article on a web page. So if I don't have that, I'm going to use a shortened form of the title plus the page number if it's a print document, or just a shortened form of the title if it's a web document. So now I know that the correct one is just a shortened form of the title. And that's going to be in quotation marks if it's a source title, or in italics if it's a container, right? And so again, here's another one. This is 3 or more authors. So all I go do here is I've got 3 authors. Notice this is a little bit different, that I use this Latin phrase et al. So I use the first author's name. I replace et al. For the other authors. I put a period, and then I put the page number if it's print, or I just put the in parentheses if it's not. So here, this is a print source. So I'm going to go here. It's not this one because I don't put a comma. I just put a period, right? So that's my correct one. And when I'm finished, I'm going to hit submit assessment. And notice it's going to warn me I didn't answer question 4 because I was just skipping through. So I can go back and answer question 4. I'm just going to, I know that one's not right. So I can, let me see. That's not it. That's it. And then I think I didn't answer this one. So it is going to be that one. Okay, now I can hit submit assessment. It'll ask me again, do I want to? I'm going to say yes. Oh, I made 100. Yay! So again, you only have one chance again to take the bonus because it's bonus points, so you don't get 2 chances to do it. And it just goes into your overall grade. So even if you did really well on the MLA exam, it's a chance for you to earn some overall bonus points for your overall grade. So go ahead and take it, even if you're happy with your MLA exam grade. It's not going to hurt your grade to get some extra points somewhere. So again, all you have to do is go up to activities, to assessments, and you're going to find it under MLA bonus exam. It's going to be open from July 5th to July 13th at 11:59 p.m. Just going to click it. It's going to show you those those instructions, just like I showed you with that link to open up the master guide. Remember though, if you come up here to your content, I believe the master guide, I think I made it available. Yes. So if you come up here to your content page, you can just type master guide in up here in the search bar, and it's going to open up and show you where the master guide is very quickly. So you've always got that master guide available to you. It is correct. It is MLA 9. So if you happen to like it better than the textbook, again, there's a lot more information about how to document and lay out your sources than there is in our textbook. Or if you just like something you can print out, then you're more than welcome to print that out. It is up to date. MLA. So it's my own thing. So good luck with that. I hope it will help your grade. Have a great 4th. Bye-bye.